Well, if you want to say, we're going to talk about what we should do for the retreat in January, and you could float the idea.
Yeah, you can put your vote in.
It was something like physical, like put things in a wall, dancing.
That's how this goes on for me. I'm like, can we just throw things? Like, and she's like, oh, maybe.
Sure.
Well, I'm fine. I think the idea came from when we were talking about ideas and literally throwing spaghetti at the wall. And I'm like, well, what if we actually threw ideas? Oh,
Okay, so apparently this is already recording as soon as I started. So FYI, you are being recorded.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we cannot really say anything inappropriate?
so
I hope
Mama,
not.
be quiet.
The thing is, you won't know whether it's inappropriate until you see it.
True that.
Yeah. So you,
For
Are you gonna get your
whatever,
computer? Yes. Okay. I've just been trying to prioritize doing that first because I did
So we
that
get
last time
connected.
and,
I can hear my computer says that something started.
oh yes, this started.
Okay. That's a very cute little.
I know, right? I do have a couple of stickers. And watermelon worried on.
Hello, you guys hear us?
Worried right now?
Yes, okay. FYI, I don't know what it said, but you're being recorded. It automatically started recording as soon as I turned it on. I'm gonna let you manage the people joining, and I'm going to open up. Everything moves around on my screen when I.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have one yet, it's my first. Ones, I think.
I need to make sure when I share screen that I share noise also, so that.
Yeah.
I'm on the actual. Is this what it's showing?
We got it all back.
Not to be stressed about.
I get feedback.
I muted you.
This is what I see in my presentation.
Wow.
Yeah, that didn't help.
No,
That didn't help.
and like everybody.
Well,
Are you on your Verizon or are you on their Verizon?
out there.
Okay, there we go. It's doing it. Of course, it was just trying to fake you out.
It's, I mean, last time it was this.
Yeah, luckily for me, this time it's been. Okay.
Well, that's good. There's the one who matters.
We are. Survivors.
Hey, look, it's, oh, I shouldn't say anything. I get messed up again. I'll say it at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
If it goes.
That turned out for him.
Since I just got your text, apologize.
What's that?
I got it. You made it.
Oh, I made it, yeah. Now I know where to not park next time.
Bless you.
I think.
Where did you try to park?
Oh, I just parked right here.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Well, completely empty, and then I'm like, am I in the wrong place, the wrong day? So I got my phone out, like, no, I think this.
I had that feeling the whole time that I was coming here. I was waiting at the gate for them to open the gate for me to go in, and I was like, kept checking my phone. I'm like, I think this is the wrong day, because it just feels so weird, because I did work on Monday, and then
Oh,
like,
you're,
you know,
your week
everything
is
was
all
a
messed
little
up.
late, and there was like so much wind last night, you know, they're probably cleaning stuff up or something. And then I got in here and I was just like, I still feel like this is the wrong day or the wrong week or something.
Well, it's all my fault, because I'm never early. And I actually planned to be early this morning, so I'm so proud of myself. No. This is what happens if people are early.
Percent, no.
Oh, it's like 50.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's what I need.
No, when you walk in late, everybody's already there. And then I got stuck in the traffic in front of the hospital.
Yeah. Hi.
But usually
Long
if it's like
time no see.
anybody.
Yes.
Maybe if you, well, it's not at all, so.
How's the groundbreaking going?
Going good, going good. Yeah, I missed the groundbreaking. I was in Italy, but.
I didn't have rides, so I
Good
shouldn't
job.
be-
Tough break.
Good stuff. Well, they would plan to do
I
it.
think it's
before,
okay.
so I planned my schedule around it.
Even think about it, Carolina. I saw you.
What's the?
Yeah, you're right. It's not okay.
This is. We are.
Yeah. I just had a chat.
Oh, gee, I could read you from a mile away. Mhm.
I,
Hi, Denise. How are you?
okay. So strong.
And then if you want to make yourself one.
Sarampito.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you? So good to see you, Papa.
Stop it.
No, it's not for you. I was looking for you.
You're around. So
There
much.
you are. Are you?
Another.
Yes,
Actually, the city commissioner meeting.
I was just bringing your name.
How is she doing? I haven't seen her.
She's good. She's- Sunday.
That's it. Secret in the. So.
Hey, you know.
By the field on. Hey, how are you doing? Are you done? Done. Where are you? Can you come to this? Come to this. Oh, you still. Sorry. You are adjourned.
Where do I get started?
Oh. Well, bring me with you.
I don't know, I should have.
Don't have it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I went with Brad and
Yeah.
those things. So,
Yeah.
it was super fun. Super handsome. I don't know if it's that.
No.
Time, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're gonna get, I'm free this year, and so anything more than 375 is too much.
Just too much. Yeah, I don't like it.
I know, I mean, they made me a garden ad light for. Yeah, exactly.
Really, that was good. Yeah. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, sure.
Great.
Oh, you just look, yes, yes, yeah.
And
I don't know if it's believing this, but.
I was told they'll be for everything.
So I think she went back and she was a little chair. Some coach.
Because I have so many problems.
Good, she got that.
Yeah.
At least she didn't get sick there.
Does she still driving Prius? I was about to say, I drive by her house, I'm like, I don't see a car there anymore.
No, she, the railway station, like,
Oh, okay.
has a children.
More than, yeah, that's true. It's more than half.
Yeah.
You just got that.
Now,
That's right.
It finally.
The badge carrying.
Yeah.
And now.
It is so pleasant. Her, yeah. I know it's like a gold rush. Yeah. But the plate number, for the last.
Slowly, yeah, you don't.
The first 3 months.
That was
The last time.
You know, one.
So that's the only way I know it's her. And I go, see.
Yeah, right.
No, that's gonna be, you, that's a dog.
You little car. I could not stop them. And they treated her like a prisoner.
There we are.
Real.
I'm gonna wait till 9:05 because it always.
Yeah, no, you should.
Because we don't have.
Totally should.
Did you grab one of these?
Send me Gaza.
Okay.
They sent me to the hospital. He said she- she said,
Well,
"Sam, I can't run."
Turtle shell.
I did.
Well, that's all. That's no treatment. Not staying enough. What a world.
State level.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it's a state level. There's team 31.
Yeah, it's become organized. Respond. Scared to death.
So I sent a lot of my phone.
Seriously? The target.
You're spending half a client.
Yeah.
Yeah, how can I possibly feel unsafe?
I know. So you're checking out this.
I don't know.
Oh my God, selfie there. Like I saw his face, I could read him. He was like a child.
How many?
Okay,
She.
it is 9:05.
Oh.
So we are gonna start the meeting.
Watching. Circus.
This is better.
It's 9:05, so we're gonna start the meeting. And so first we're gonna do a little welcome. So I'm Lisa Schuyler. I'm the Health Promotion Supervisor at Clatsop County Public Health. I help facilitate the chart meeting.
Hi, morning. Kayla Warner with Oregon Health and Science University. I live here in Clatsop County and serve Columbia Clatsop Tillamook communities as the community research liaison. I didn't need to say all that, I guess, but I am co-host with Lisa here.
Kim Combs. I am the Community Program Supervisor at NWSDS, taking Suzanne Berenson's place, probably. She's been here a few minutes.
I'm Sarah Farmer, she, her pronouns. I'm the North Coast Community Engagement Coordinator for 211.
I'm Kestrel Gates with the Build Your Nest Postpartum Navigator Pilot Project and the slowly potentially developing perinatal task force. That's that. She, her pronouns.
So many explanations. I'm Constance Weiss and I'm just a community member. She, her.
Constance.
She doesn't do much in the community.
You're a hero.
I am Jacqueline Sari and I use she, her pronouns. I work at Clatsop Community Action and I am the new health-related social needs coordinator.
I'm Tessa James Scheller, and I'm a community activist, a retired certified registered nurse anesthetist. And I'm on board for a number of local groups, but today I'm repping the Lower Columbia Q Center, which is feeling kind of different today. She, her, can you tell?
Morning, everybody. My name is Carolina Guerrero and I am a health promotion specialist for Clatsop County Public Health. And I work in tobacco prevention education, tobacco retail licensing, alcohol, and other drugs education prevention program.
Tom Duncan, retired family doc and currently serving as public health officer.
Josh Thrampin, the Warrenton Library Director, he, him pronouns.
Norma Hernandez, Consejo Hispano Deputy Director, she, her, ella pronouns.
So a couple of things, if you haven't been here before for this meeting, they request that we park in the far parking lot. So you don't have to run out there and move your car right now if you parked in the wrong parking lot. But the next time you come to the meeting, if you could park in the one that's across the road. And walk over here. Yeah. And then the bathrooms are on kind of near the exit or entrance. So if you're walking out there on the left down the hallway when you're on your way out. And then this meeting goes until 10:30. Then we'll have a break and then we're having our steering committee meeting where we're going to talk about the retreat that we're going to have in January, which will be a little bit of a longer meeting and what we want to do for that. And also potentially what we want to do for Place Matters, which we will talk to the whole group about at a later date as well. But if anyone wants to stay and contribute to kind of what we're thinking for the retreat, then you're welcome to afterwards. And then, I forgot everybody online before I gave my update. So let's see, how about Tracy?
Sorry, I'm Tracy Villarreal. I work for Providence Seaside Hospital as the care management leader for the social work and care manager departments.
Hey, Tracy, thank you. Jay Blake.
Good morning, everyone. Had I known Constance Wiseman was going to be there, I would have driven out, but son of a gun, I'm in my office. I'm the county's planning manager, currently working on the county's economic opportunities analysis and the psilocybin ordinance. Thanks.
Thank you. Saren.
I'm Saren. I am a social worker in the Women's Center and FBC over at Columbia Memorial Hospital.
Amy.
Hi, my name's Amy Magnuson. I'm the pre-college director of TRIO at Clatsop Community College, and I use she, her pronouns.
Judy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Judy Nahum. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a community engagement specialist with Columbia Pacific CCO.
Adam.
Good morning. My name is Adam Jeffries. I work with the Oregon Bureau of Labor and Industries. I'm here in Portland right now, and I just want to thank you all for the work you do. And yeah, I look forward to learning about the information that's going to be provided today. And thank you for your time and your work.
Thanks for coming, Adam. Mike.
Mike Brocious. I am just a citizen in this Clatsop County, I guess, working potentially on the Blue Zones project for the community as well.
Emily.
Good morning, Emily Riley. I work for OSU Extension. I'm the program coordinator for Family Community Health and SNAP Ed for Clatsop and Columbia County.
Haley. Her sound's not working currently. My name is Haley. I'm a social worker for Columbia Memorial Hospital Cancer Center. Thank you for joining us, Haley. Okay, so the next part of the agenda is that we're going to have a presentation from Norma about Consejo Hispano. And then after that, we can do initiatives and incubations, and then any sort of updates or events or requests that people want to bring to the group. And then we'll wrap up. So thank you, Norma. Get your slideshow going.
Please do. While she gets that going, Consejo Hispano has been in the area for 19 years. Next year will be the 20th year that we are actually under 501c3. Before that, what we had, it was just a grassroots group. It was just neighbors, Latino neighbors, that realized that it was a lot of people moving here, and they had a lot of necessities, and they didn't have anybody to help them. So people that were already here started helping those newcomers, and that's how Consejo Hispano was born. Hi. And it used to be called, I don't know why, but it used to be Lower Columbia Hispanic Council. And now it's just Consejo Hispano, which is so much better. We are a Latino organization. So I don't know, I think we were trying to integrate in a very weird way. This is my second stint with Consejo Hispano. I was their first executive director back from 2008 to 2012. I used to work for public health. And then when my program closed, that it was Healthy Families, I went to work with them. I was with them for 4 years. And then I was asked to return as a week coordinator. I did. I was 11 and a half years with public health, and I went back to Consejo Hispano. So yes, I do have a merry-go-round between public health and Consejo Hispano. That is my thing. Hopefully the little horses stop here and I will not keep going on. But let me tell you about us. And my next slide, please. This is who we are. We are Latinx led, and we really try to do a lot of culturally specific items. Yes, a lot of people see our programs or services or events that we do. Yes, we do it for the Latino community. a lot of people do come to us and said, how come you don't have this for everybody? Well, because everybody else has all these programs that we don't have. So yes, please don't get offended. It is just the way it is. We try to take care of a group of people that do not have the same abilities, privileges that the rest of us have. So that, yes, it feels like it is a little bit exclusive because we're trying to really educate a group of people that do not understand culturally or trying to get them used to the culture here of the US. These are we had a strategic plan several years ago, and these are the things that pretty much they wanted it. Really, the community, the Latino community said, this is what we want. We need access to opportunities and advocacy and leadership. We want to really have economic empowerment. We try to do that by trying to build multi-generational wealth. That is what we try to do. Let's try to really teach them and guide them and educate them and offer those opportunities so they can become on a wealth themselves. And cultural appreciation. This is when we try to see all these kids that are being born here, are being educated here, how we keep them linked to the community and their culture. They come here, they forget, sometimes they don't even really speak Spanish because they're trying to really acclimate. They're trying to be part of this. So how can we keep that alive and we can teach them about the rich cultural heritage that we have? Thank you. Two languages. One of the things that we talk about economic empowerment, how can we train our kids to really differ in that economic gain? You know, sometimes they, as soon as they are able to work, they want to go, oh, I can get a job in the cannery. And then part of our job is like, okay, defer that a little bit. How about if you continue your education? How about if you try to go a little bit further? That way you can make more money and you don't have to have that tough, cold work. So that is a challenge that we usually have because they want to help their parents. They want to really be not a charge to them. They really want to empower them and help them and try to give them a better life in a way, but then themselves still can do a little bit better in the world. We recently concluded, and at the end of this presentation, I'm going to give you like a 4-minute project video that you're going to see of this summer enrichment program. This is when we had 6 weeks that we had kids, and we did it at the Warrington Grade School. It was teaching the kids. We have kids from 7:30 in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The reason that program was born, it's not called a camp for us because it was not a camp. It's an enrichment program, and you're going to see why. And one of the things that this was born out of, we even had one staff that it was really much behind this because when she was young, she will have to stay. She was like 8 years old and had to take care of the younger siblings while the parents work in the summer. Okay, I cannot imagine me at 8 years old taking care of younger kids. I really cannot. Some of the other kids that we have, that are board members now, they will have to go and stay in the car or their parents' house while their parents work. And their parents in their breaks will come out to the car and check how they were doing, or they will to make sure they will have lunch. And that's not a way to live. One is they didn't have the money to pay for camps. They didn't have really the people that could take care of them, no caregiving. So this is how this program was born. It is very, very packed program, but it is like what kids can do in the summer that is no charge. The parents could not really pay, that outrageous amounts that it is to pay for a weekly camp every summer. So you're going to see a little bit at the end of the program of my presentation. You're going to see a little video about that.
Oh, sorry, just listening, waiting for it to go ahead.
So this is some of the pictures that you're going to see of the projects that they did in that enrichment program. Next, please. I will guide you better. And this is some of our programs. We got trainings in emergency preparedness, We have a Women Empower Women. We have tax filing and ITIN request financial education. All of our programs are free. All of the services that we get, we do not charge anything. We do not ask for donations. We do not want to really put any barriers on anybody. One of the biggest misconceptions, if you have people who are not documented, and please, I always say that, and you have heard me, I never say illegal. We just commit illegal acts. All of you have sped above the speed limit. That's an illegal act. That doesn't make you an illegal person. So when you understand how long it takes sometimes for somebody to get their paperwork correct, I have a friend, a very good friend of Kayla and I, somebody that came here legally, somebody prepared high education. It took her 6 years to get her legal residency. 6 years. And having a work visa, having all the paperwork, having a PhD, having a job, and it still took her 6 years. And that's what we expect. People say, come legally. Usually, when you're going to come legally, it could take up to 13 to 17 years. That is how long it takes to do this legally. That's number one. Number two, just because you are here undocumented, sometimes people feel that you don't do taxes, so you are a burden. No, undocumented people do file taxes. Trust me, I help them do it. So I know it happens. It's something called an ITIN, Individual Tax Identification Number. And that's so they can open their bank accounts and they can do their tax filing. So yes, they are able to be fiscal responsibility they have on their families. Yes, they do their taxes. They do like everything that we do. They do pay Social Security, but they cannot really get anything from Social Security. But they do put money into it. So every time that somebody tells you, oh, they don't pay taxes. No, that's not the way it goes. They do, and especially the ones that have the kids here, they want to do things right. And they want to do things right because they want to, so if I have the ability to maybe become, my documents become legal later, then I want to show, hey, I've been doing what I'm supposed to do here. I've been respecting your laws. I've been doing my tax filing. So yes, we do tax filing. And we do a lot of financial education.
No, but so if they do get documented, will they then be able to collect on Social Security?
Yes. After they become, yeah, because then they will receive, after they become legal residents.
Legal residents.
After you are a legal resident, then you will be given a Social
Do
Security
they get
number.
credit for all of their ITIN contributions?
Some of them not. That is, no, we don't know what's going to happen with that.
Well,
but it's supposed to be that whatever it's paid, because when you do your payroll, you don't cannot use your ITIN number. It's some papers that they were given several years ago. Social Security will send them a letter and it will say, oh, you've been paying to it, give me your ITIN number so I can put that there. But I have heard that has stopped and I'm not too clear if they are doing that again or not. And we also do financial education. So we have offices. We cover 4 counties, Columbia, Clatsop, Tillamook, and across the river in Pacific County, Washington. We do cover 4. So we go to these different counties and we have a group, a workshop, and we have somebody, Alejandro, that they will give them financial education, teaching what do you need to do. This is how you do a check. This is what you can do your account. This is why you need an ITIN number so you can have your checking account, so you can have your savings account. So we go through the whole financial education. Also in the summer enrichment program, we do that. We're just trying to really get everybody settled into how do you need to do things here. Next, please. This year, for the first time, can you imagine 19 years, and this year was the first time that we had a fundraiser. We never had a fundraiser before. And we really just go into, we get money from foundations, grants, donations, support from the community, but we had never done a fundraiser. And it was it was looked at like very strangely when I started talking about it back in the late winter. People kept saying, this is just not cool. And I'm like, well, this is not our idea. It was idea of smashing a car. And that came from Wisconsin. Our boss, Jenny, she went to college in Wisconsin. And that's a fundraiser that she learned back there about just getting and beating up a car. And then I said, we always said that Midwest people are so nice. Now I know why. Because they'll really go and get rid of whatever anger they have. They go and do beat up cars, and then definitely that's why they are so nice. Now I think I discovered that. So we had it, and we're gonna have it again next year on May 3rd. We will let you know, and this is part of it. As you could see at the bottom left, that is Chief of Police of Astoria, Stacy Kelly, and we actually had the Chief of Police and do a mano a mano with one of his officers, with Sergio Carrera, and both of them were so tired. We gave them, I think it was 2 or 3 minutes, and they said, 1 minute next time, please, 1 minute. Sergio wanted it so bad to win above his boss that he busted the sledgehammer. It was just a great thing. And then we did have like piñatas for the kids. We have piñatas for adults. And if you want to have fun, just look at adults trying to do piñata. It was a blast. It was a really, really good time. Next, please.
And those cookies were really cute.
And the cookies. So this year, every year, we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. It goes from September 15th to October 15th. And it is done because it's several countries in Latin America that they get their independence around the September 15th. And it's Nicaragua and El Salvador. So it's several Mexico. So this is what we did. We had 2 events, one in Seaside, and we had one in Tillamook. And the Tillamook one was the first time that we ever did one in Tillamook. And it was attendance of was almost 300 people. So it was really good. And it was pretty much the same thing in Seaside. Seaside, we discovered, was a really nice sunny day. And people do less things inside when it's a really nice sunny day. So it was quite funny that I'm like, it's so pretty, such a great day. But then people is like, they didn't want to go inside to have an event. And we had the Oregon State Police, we had the Seaside Police, we had Astoria Police, we had the Clatsop County Sheriff, we had fire and rescue from Seaside with their trucks. It was really a fun event that I wanted everybody to also start feeling very comfortable around law enforcement. So that's what I wanted law enforcement involving Merense Hispana. I want them to feel comfortable. This is not an enemy. This is a friend that he can have tacos with us. He can dance with us. He can carry children with us. So that's one of the things that I think I like the most. Next, please. Some of the pictures, as you could see, of our volunteers. We do craft. We had the folkloric group from Salem. And the craft, like the lady on top, this is one of the things that people love the most about our events. And our events are open to everybody. That one is not only for Latinos, that one is everybody that wants to come and celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. It's invited, and it will have a meal, and it could enjoy. That was part of our volunteers like Joyce and Diana is staff. We have Angeles, that is Aunt Holly, that she was an ex-nurse from public health also. So everybody that is a friend of mine that end up volunteering, if you make eye contact with me, boy, you're gonna be doing something. So this is I'm like a subway in New York City. Do not make eye contact because I'm gonna get you in to do something for me. So that was a really, really good time. And we do it like 3 hours, but we just try to really have photo booths. And we had craft, we have raffles, a lot of giveaways. The giveaways people love. And it's just all for free. It's just for everybody. Next, please. We also this year, we had a beer, Consejo beer with Fort George. The canned beer went super fast, but I think they still might have something draft at Fort George.
They had, well, last time we checked, they had some at the co-op.
At the
too,
co-op,
cans.
at the can. But it is a beautiful can. Everybody loved the design of the can. And they also have t-shirts. So these t-shirts, what Fort George did, and if you go and buy one of those t-shirts, 100% of that, it goes to Consejo Hispano. So if you haven't got your t-shirt yet that it says Consejo, and go to Fort George and have a Consejo beer. Actually, it's a fresh hop and it's very refreshing. And I'm not a big beer person. I don't really like beer, but that one was like, I could not maybe become a beer person after this. It was very refreshing and it was really good. And it was inspired by hops, flowers from Oaxaca, and the butterfly, because the more butterflies is something that is such a Mexican thing that we wanted to really tie it all in. Next, please. Coming soon, all right. We have Magia Navideña. This is a holiday giving program that we are currently running. What it is, we had Latino participants that it's gonna be for kids 18 and under. And it is to get them presents. In some of the programs, we have families that live in Warrenton, but go to school in Astoria, or vice versa, or they are not that through DHS, so they're not able to get sometimes into the list to get the presents. So we are trying to do that for them. And how we're going to do that? We already have over 250 kids that we are now vetting just to make sure, because it's some things about lower income and just to make sure that they can get a present. So we asking donors. I said that you can adopt 1, 2, how many kids you want to adopt for Christmas. We think approximately it could be maybe like $100 for kids that people will spend. This is just, and you spend whatever you want, but it's just when I get these questions, that's what I think. You get a couple of presents that are between $20 and $30. That's usually pretty much, it would be like $100. And how are we going to say thank you to the donors? We're going to have an event that is called Cerveza y Chocolate, yes?
There's a question in the chat from Kayla Blessing who said, can we refer families to this holiday program?
If they are Latinos, they need to go into our Facebook just to get the information when to need. But that closes on Friday and it's pretty much in order. So I don't know. It will be very, I don't know how much space now we have for it. And I don't have that many donors now. It's like, oh, I have a lot more kids than donors.
Norma, I will say, my husband came home whenever he found out this, he goes, we're adopting kids for Christmas. And I was like, you want to talk about this? So I'm just very excited about it, but very amusing to see just no context.
No,
So he just like let it sit for a while and I was like, what are we talking about? I don't know this.
And I have to say, as a Dave, Kayla's husband, it is a great partner and collaborator of Consejo Hispano. And actually, Boy Beer is one of our sponsors. So the way that we're going to celebrate all these donors is going to be an event called Cerveza y Chocolate. We are having some beers from Boy Beer and that we're going to match with some chocolates. It's going to be some sweet things and it's going to be some savory things. This is not a dinner. This is not a meal. This is just a get together for several hours. So the donors are able to bring the presents to me that day of the kids they adopted. And I said, here's the beer and chocolate and let's play Mexican lottery. And we're going to do some loteria in just a couple of hours. And we will date. So the reason we are not putting the date and time and place of the event, it is because it's not open to the public. This event is going to be for the donors. If and you become a donor by sending me an email and telling me, hey, I want to be part of this. What do I need to do? I'm going to tell you, yes, I will get you information, hold tight, and I'm going through my list. And how many kids do you want or want one? Just let me know, and I will send you a first name, age, sizes, or wishes, or whatever the kid wants. So this is the first time we're doing this. So of course, it's going to be a little bit, trying to trial and error to see how we can do it better next year. But it is exciting just to see that we are able to do this, and hopefully it will be a super fun, another fun thing with beer. Can you see a trend here?
The beer.
Yeah.
So do you have this as a flyer that we can like bring to the church?
I can email it to you.
Printable
Yes.
flyer.
Yes, I can email it to you.
Norm, if you want, you can also send it to us and we can attach it as that.
Okay, I could
newsletter
do that.
Goes around, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, we have until November 20th. And the reason we put that date, and it could be, is just because we want to make sure that we can start matching all these kids. The date of the event, it will be December 5th. That I could tell you is a Thursday night. It will be December 5th, the day of Cerveza and Chocolate. Okay, Mama. Okay, make a difference. You can become a volunteer with us. You don't need to speak Spanish, and especially when it is to help us. We are the only agency in Clatsop County that it is part of the Vital Free Tax Preparation Program. That is a federal program, and you will get a training online, and you will do your certification, and you can become to help us to prepare taxes. You can give us a couple of hours a week. You come to our office, we'll give you a laptop, we'll give you paperwork. You don't need to speak Spanish because you don't need to talk to the people. We get the information, we give it to you. You do the tax, and then that's it. You know, that is a way that you can become involved with us, and you can learn how to do taxes. And for the taxes, we also accept everybody. Taxes is not only for Latinos, it's for everybody. So we do help a lot of the Astoria senior citizens that I saw this summer, this spring. And I'm like, oh, and they're like, oh, do I need to speak Spanish? I'm like, no. And Adriana was running the program at the time, and now is Alejandro. So if you are interested, please also let me know. I think it would be a great way to be involved. Give us something, especially it's the winter time. You're not going to be doing a lot of stuff between January and April. Come on, people, don't lie to me. Okay, so thank you so much. That is my information. I do have cards in the back. I have also some magnets and some stickers, and I have some worry dolls. So I have Guatemalan worry dolls that I hope each one of you take one. And that is something that if you have any worries, you tell it to your little doll and you put it underneath your pillow. By the following morning, either you feel better about it or the problem is resolved. So just have faith. And I think all of us right now need a Guatemalan worry doll because we could definitely use that. And now can we have that little video, please?
Norma, there is a question in the chat asking if it's possible to donate money instead of purchasing. I
Yes.
want to say, of course.
Of course,
but-
because, and that happened with a couple of people already said, can I give you the money to go shopping? Of course, I will go shopping. Some people say, yeah, I don't want to do that. And some people say, no, I love to go do the shopping. So yes, all forms of donations is accepted, and we can go and do the shopping for you.
Thank you. That was a question for Maggie.
There's no sound. Hold on. Let me figure out the sound. I knew how to do this on Zoom.
Whole new platform.
Whole new platform. Share sound. Okay, let me try it one more time. So not sure. The song is so good though.
I know.
And he's dancing to it. Okay, well, we're just gonna have to imagine some nice music and I'll.
So this is, I could give a little bit, this is just the different programs that we were doing. We did from STEM, And actually, Emily, that is online, she gonna see a picture of herself also there. Because we have our collaboration with OSU Extension, Watershed, STEM programs. We had, this person that she's new, Leslie, new in town. And look at that robot.
Oh my gosh.
So cute.
That is so
I
cool.
think we had Tim Hernandez that he worked for, and he just moved for cardiovascular, for the cancer center in CMH. We had Maritza, one of the emergency nurses from the emergency room from CMH that came. And the reason is we wanted to talk to kids to make sure that they learn about what are their options, things that they can do out there. Yeah. I just think it was such a darling program. I will go and they will be so proud of their jobs. One of their things that they did, it was make like these Frida pictures. And it was interesting to see what Frida looks to some of them. When I come looking, I think Emily's there's Emily. Thank you, Emily, for being there. And just to see how each one of them will see what Frida looked like. It was interesting, not for all of them look the same. They really gave their own twist about it. I love him that he says, broccoli. He just had like this. They were making flutes, actually. That is Leslie teaching them drumming. They were doing like batucadas. It was like Brazilian music that they were learning. That was super fun. They're so serious. Look at that. Look at the mustache on that one. Hilarious. Yeah, it was, look at that. We got his feathers.
So cool.
And a lot of them actually, and one of their teachers did some of their craft projects and sent them to the fair, and they won ribbons, and they were like, so they had no clue what to do or how to do it, but there they were, they have their stuff at the fair, Clatsop County Fair. And they were like, oh my God, I have a ribbon. And it was just one of those things in life that, it gave us, it fills your heart. It fills your heart that it could be an organization that it can just do this. And I think that's why I went back to it. It's like, what a better way to finish my working years, that working for an organization that really tries to bring the best of our Latino community and tries to really teach them and guide them, and without losing your essence of your Latino essence. And I think that is so important that they could just do this. So it's from a lot of you, and even the 100 women of Clatsop County that cares, they actually, I have to go and talk to them like 2 days after I had started work. And I'm like, well, I just started, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to speak just from my heart, because said knowledge I did not have. I only been in my job less than 48 hours. But they understood, and they actually helped us with that summer program. They really gave us, and it just feels good. And I was in a meeting, I'm part of the Wellville group also, and I was in a meeting with them last week, right, the day after the elections. And they say something that I want to share, if you were not there, that stuck to me. That they said, keep going west. Keep going west. Because if you go north, and that was the phrase that I use a lot. I'm my North Star. I want my North Star. I'm going to follow my North Star. But they say, if you go to your North Star, then you arrive. And then what? And what's next? But if you keep going west, you will not stop. You will keep learning. You will keep going. You will keep, because it's no destination. It's just this journey. So the way that I can ask all of you and all of you online and everybody here is just, let's just keep going west. Let's keep going west and let's not stop. And it's some days where we are like, we feel down, but we get up the following day and we just keep going west. So continue the journey of all the great things that you do in all of your organizations and continue just taking care of each other. And if you have any other questions, I can sit down. And look at that 1 minute short. Wow.
Impressive. Very
Impressive.
punctual.
I have a question. It's sort of basic, but it seems like a lot of people don't like that term Latinx. I'm not sure whether it's because it's gendered or non-gendered, or if it's because it's woke, or what the problem is. On the other hand, if you call people Hispanics, that includes an awful lot of people who aren't in the least Spanish. I mean, there's a lot of people who come up here from south of the border who they're not Mexican, they're not Spanish, they're indigenous.
Mhm.
And not everybody from the south is Mexican. They might be Hispanic or Guatemalan or something. But is there a real thing about what to call this group of people?
Well, all depends what people feel comfortable. Latinx is because it's going to be inclusive. And they also call it Latine. Because remember in Spanish, if it's an A at the end, it's a female. If it's an O, it's a male.
Right.
Latino, Latino. So now there's some people are using the E at the end, Latine. And Latine is that way things, trying not to put a gender. So for some people that are older, it is more difficult to call it the Latinx or the Latine because they're not used to. It's like, do I have to learn something new? Well, yeah, if you want to be inclusive, but not all people who live down from Mexico down are Hispanic. Because we have Brazil, they don't speak Spanish. They speak Portuguese. So Hispanic means that they are Hispanoparlantes, that they speak Spanish. Brazil doesn't speak Spanish. So it's really, they are in Latin America, that is right in the middle. They are part of South America, you have people who speak Spanish or not. So Latin America is supposed to be in the middle. But like me, that I'm from Puerto Rico, I'm not really in Latin America, I'm more in the Caribbean. So it's like, yes, I am a Latino, I'm a Caribbean, I'm a Latine, I'm a Latinx, because I want to be inclusive. Then you have like people in Europe. They are Hispanics, the one that lives in Spain, because they speak Spanish, but they're not Latinos. So it's just really how people feel more comfortable. And that's very hard to go in each person. And usually people will come and tell you what it is. But the Latinx and the Latine is just that, is people are uncomfortable saying, but it is the same people who are uncomfortable in English when we say our genders or how we prefer to be identified. So it's the same thing. The same people that are uncomfortable in English are the same people that are uncomfortable in Spanish. But it is just a way to be inclusive. And they think, oh, this is something just new. Well, yeah, it is new. Because we were not inclusive before. We were trying to keep still Latina or Latino. Well, no, some of us are not. Some of us are X. Some of us are still trying to figure it out. Some of us do not want to identify to either or. And it is that I should meet you where you are. And some people are still uncomfortable in that. But for me, it's not more than people in English.
Well, and if you're referring to a group of people and you're only using the male ending to a word, then where are the other genders?
Where are the other genders? Yeah.
You know, so if you say an E or an X at the end of a word, then you're being inclusive of more than just the male gender, of all the other genders, female included, because when you, like, they're not being included either with the O.
And in Spanish, it used to be that for everything, it used to be the male word that we would use. Like we would always say amigos, and it was everybody. Well, now we're trying to be if a little bit more amigues, compañeros. And people, I even laugh when I say something like compañere, but I'm getting that from even my own daughter. My own daughter says, I like compañera and amigue. And I just think it's funny in the beginning. It's like, why do you? She said, yeah, my husband also is annoyed that but I'm trying, he says, I'm trying to convince myself to change the way that I speak so I could be more inclusive. But that's what it is. It's just, it's not like it's right or it's wrong. It's just that we're trying to be inclusive.
Well, I understand that, but it seems like there's a pushback from some of the Latinx community. They don't like being called that.
Exactly, because they grew up, it was the way that it always was Latina or Latino.
Right.
And they don't understand that it's some of us are not A or O. Some of us are E.
So would you say it's kind of strange coming from someone who may identify as white, going and using that term? I know a lot of academia use that term and kind of, if they're presenting, will say a disclosure, like academia likes to use X as an inclusive, but you know, depending on who's in the room, maybe Latino is more appropriate. So it's almost like like you're saying, meeting people where they're at. But I know personally, like I'm a white female, and so using that term, I usually am like, are we comfortable using that term if I'm in a group of folks who are not white? And so, yeah, I think it's just like a dance.
Yeah, that is a dance, and it's gonna be hard to really please everybody about it.
I did want to say, Judy also said, thank you so much. Norma. This was a great presentation and very sweet video. And Saren would love to get cards for their role at CMH as a social worker if you're interested.
Of course, I will send all that info. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you. Right. Disclaimer, I did finish at 9:44.
I know.
Dr. Duncan was the one.
It was a good question, though.
Yeah, only kidding, Dr. Duncan.
And then next, initiatives and incubations. Does anybody want to talk about, is there anything going on with any initiatives or incubations? Okay. Then we will just move into individual updates and events and requests. And I'm going to go last because I did not prepare any updates for the health department, so I have to think. So
can I just take a step back real quick and kind of highlight the initiatives and incubations for anyone who may be like, what is that? If anyone has a group that maybe you're like have momentum behind an idea, an initiative, something that is like community-based that might align with what we do here at Chart and is collaborative or it could be collaborative with the folks who attend Chart, please bring it to us because we are like open to like hosting that space to discuss and generate more ideas to support that incubation or initiative. So that's kind of what we mean when we say that. We have the perinatal task force that's been meeting with Kestrel. We have the Blue Zones initiative that we've been working on. So if there's updates, we've kind of hosted the space here for that. Almost a little more than just like a personal, professional update. So it's kind of more of that, maybe the conversation could be had with everybody. So feel free to bring that to us if you are interested.
Thank you for explaining that. And then also just when we know that there's a task force that's a part of Chart, if we're out there in our roles with Chart or other sectors of the community and we think or see something that could be related to that task force, then we try to include it. And so it's also just something that, you know, you'll have a group of people and especially me, Kayla, who are thinking about as we are going about our work and trying to find resources for that task force. So, okay, individual updates. Do you want to start or do you want to also skip?
I don't think I have anything I want to share with the group this time yet. I think there's something brewing.
Maybe I should start on.
But yeah,
Work at sale beer.
yeah. Always. Yeah, maybe we start online. We'll give folks and then think about if you have anything, updates, sharing.
Yeah.
Does anyone online have anything going on with the organization? Wants to talk about a really cool project?
I'll share. So, Amy Magnuson from Pre-College Trio. I just wanted to let everybody know that we are still recruiting students for our talent search program. So for that program, we serve students between the grades of 6 through 12, and we help them reach their college and career goals. So I put in 2 links in the chat to a referral form. The top link is in English, the bottom one is in Spanish. So feel free to share that with any folks in your community. If you're working with families who have children within that grade range, we'd love to connect with them. Our services are available in Astoria, Warrenton, Seaside, and Napa schools. Thanks.
Kayla, could you give us a little, I couldn't hear her.
You were a little bit garbled, so we heard that you're still recruiting. I will also take the form for Trio.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, maybe. Do you want to explain what Trio is a little bit? You're a little bit garbled, so I can also ask for a summary if it continues to be like that in the chat, and we can read it too.
Sure. Is this better? Can you hear me better? Or is
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So Trio serves students in grades 6 through 12. We support students reach their college and career goals. We take them on campus tours. We provide informational sessions and support around the FAFSA, the ORSA. We are able to also serve undocumented students now in Talent Search, which is new as of this past month. So if you have any families you're working with kids between grades 6 through 12 in Napa, Astoria, Warrenton, or Seaside school districts, we would love to support them. Our priority focus group is students that are low income and first generation, but we can admit or bring in students that don't meet both of those criterias, but 2/3 of our service group do need to meet that criteria.
Thank you. That was a great update. I'll make sure to include that when I send out our news.
I'm sorry, I'm having.
I think I can.
Just not talking.
I got it. I keep getting kicked out, and every time I rejoin, it's.
Okay, is there anyone else online that wants to, I know we've had a couple new people join too. I don't know if they want to introduce themselves. Oh, Jay, yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to really reach out and say thanks to all of the people who participated in the public open houses related to the county's economic opportunity analysis. We had great participation, and those comments are being compiled now, and we will be making modifications. One of the 4 pillars of economic growth in our area is going to be trying to expand healthcare and wellness programs as an economic development tool. And so we're very excited about all of the things happening at both of the health systems and all of the ancillary businesses. But I just wanted to reach out and say thanks to everyone who participated.
Thank you, Jay. And Judy.
Yeah, thank you. This is just a quick update, but the health-related social needs benefit for housing is now live. And so I don't want to talk too much about it because I know that Jacqueline and Jerome are there in the room and you guys are like experts on this. CCA is the Clatsop County HRSN provider, but I'll just say briefly that it's a way for folks who are on the Oregon Health Plan to receive support, housing support. That's a part of their benefit. And so we're partnering closely with CCA on that. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. And then if you have questions, feel free to contact me and I can let Jacqueline and Jerome speak more to that as well.
Thanks, Judy.
Do any of the newcomers want to introduce themselves?
Maria.
We just call on some people. Nothing the new people are.
I can introduce myself. I've been to a couple, one in person, one virtual, but it's been a while. My name's Arna Vanabo-Pyle. I'm the Food and Nutrition Services Manager at Columbia Memorial. So I'm hoping to be a little more involved in the future if possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Come when you can, but it's not the kind of meeting that you have to come every month. You can come when it works for your schedule or when the topic, because we try to announce the topics beforehand when the topic is something that's relevant to you. If you want to come every month, that's great too.
Perfect.
And
We have Joelle, Maria, and Kayla, I think, who have not introduced themselves, if you'd like.
I'm Maria Stark with Wellville. Hello.
Hi, Kayla Blessing with Oregon Department of Human Services, Community Partnership Coordinator. I don't really have any updates today.
Thank you.
And Joelle Archibald. So joining late. Sorry about that.
thanks for coming.
I think Mandy also popped in. Mandy, do you want to introduce yourself real quick? Sometimes she's working on things too.
Yeah, she might just be listening in, or it might be a problem with her mic, but she's the maternal child health nurse at Public Health and also the interim nursing supervisor. And people just keep popping in. People up there. Oh, that was Emily was in and then got kicked out and now she's back in. So okay, and okay, so going around the room, Norma, do you have any additional updates that you want to give us? Okay. Josh.
Not really the Warrenton Library just finished their 5-year strategic plan that I've been working on for about a year and a half. Much of that includes equitable access and inclusion with regard to everything from race, ethnic background, and physical ability. So I will likely be reaching out to folks soon to try to pick brains about how we can make that equitable access happen at the library. Our first thing right now is just getting an automatic door opener at our front door, since it's a heavy door that doesn't open automatically. But also it will include, we just got $700 to buy a bunch of bilingual picture books for the library. So I'm going to be with you, Norma, about taking some of those, but yeah, so if anyone has any ideas, I'm all ears to so.
And I'm going to say something that had nothing to do with me. And I know it sounds weird that I've been talking about the Latinos, but I went to a presentation last week that it have to do with the Friends of the Warrenton Library. And I got to tell you guys, if you have a couple of bucks extra at the end of this year that you need to clean up, send it to the Friends of the Warrenton Library. They could really use it. Remember, they only work really with levy money and it's not a lot. And they do all these great programs for kids, and especially their summer program. So unofficially, I'm on behalf of Kelsey and Tyler that we were together last week. I said, if you have a couple of extra bucks, please send it to the Friends of the Warrenton Library. I said, I think they could really benefit. It's a great library that doesn't have the support like the Astoria or Seaside. And we can share our wealth with other people. So, and I just wanted to say that. I know you didn't ask me to, and you didn't even know why I knew about that. But after listening to them last week and the 100 Women That Care, I said it's something that I've been talking to people about. It's like, you don't have to go completely crazy, but little by little, we can really fill that cup. So let's help the Warrenton Friends of the Library to really help the library in Warrenton.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the Friends of the Warrenton Library is a separate 501c3 that specifically raises funds. Currently is focusing its time and effort on raising funds to support the summer reading program for kids, as well as the Library After Dark program, which is the like local author program. But most of the money they raise will be going towards the summer reading program to get kids, incentivize kids to come in and read throughout the summer during that kind of gap time when there's no real required literacy activity. So thank you.
Be a good idea for our retreat to do a book drive.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 It's your turn. To the teenager in the room.
But actually, with public health, I'm working with harm reduction pretty much. And with the jail, with MAT, medically assisted treatment. They're both incredibly difficult problems that require a lot of money and a lot of social support. You're getting the money, but I think people are getting tired of talking about drugs. And it's, you know, it's so difficult because addiction is so almost permanent. It's almost impossible to get rid of it. So you have to invest in social organizations that have a long time frame. It's not a problem that's going to be licked in 6 months or a year, no matter how much money you throw at it or how many people you put in jail. So I don't know. I'm asking people, as you think of anything that can, in community efforts that can be brought to bear on this, to educate people about the nature of the problem of addiction. It's just kind of a human condition. We're adapted to be addicted. See how we hold ourselves together as a community, basically. It's the reward system in your brain allows us to be cooperative and work together because it feels good. But that reward system can be bollocksed and manipulated and turned evil by evil people and evil substances. Does anybody have a thought about this sort of thing? And you get tired of hearing about drug addicts and seeing people on the streets and you just want them to go away? That's seems to be the approach of.
I think one of the things that we should be using, the language we should use in this room is, it's not drug addiction, it's a substance use disorder.
Right.
That's what we use in the medical community, because addict says somehow something's wrong with me, when in fact what's wrong is that I'm using a substance in a way that's not healthy for me.
Right.
I'm not a bad person.
Actually, these substances are good or have.
They can be.
Sides.
They were built for good originally.
Right. And the system that they are attacking, that's not the right word either. The reward system in our brains, you know, the dopamine system basically, that allows us to feel good and makes us go out and do more of the same good things, also gets manipulated into misuse. But I just don't think that a lot of people understand that. And I don't know how to make people think that being an addict is not a moral failure. It's much more complicated.
It's just compounding when you.
And, you know, what brings it to mind is this whole Measure 110 thing. Everybody knows about Measure 110, where they decriminalized medications, which wasn't very well implemented and just kind of backfired. The whole thing boomeranged. Even our jail, which is pretty, let's say, this is the most forward-looking jail I know of, except possibly in Clackamas County. And the sheriff is all in favor of trying to treat people rather than incarcerate them or punish them. And the jail staff, for the most part, is helpful and respectful of the inmates we now call adults in custody. But ultimately, you know, there's a sort of empathy fatigue, and enough people doing drugs on the street. After a while, no matter how empathetic you are, you just get tired of it.
Can I add to that? You're making me think of like, goes perfectly into an update that I can give in the House Bill 4002 that's now addressing the rollback of Measure 110 and the deflection work. If anyone has heard of the deflection initiative going on that kind of trickled down from the Center for Health and Justice from that House bill in Oregon. And before I continue, I guess I just want to make sure like you finished your thought, because I really appreciate you speak slowly and I just spit fire usually. So.
No, I don't have a thought. I don't have a plan. You know, I think that it's a community conversation that has to go on at some level. But you can't expect people to think about this all the time. They have all sorts of other things that are more important to them than people doing drugs on the street.
Yeah, I wanted to add in something Joelle said. Addiction is complicated. Engagement with services or treatment is a voluntary individual choice by the user. It is a painful treatment after engaging those with substance use disorder. And Tracy mentioned evidence-based language. Medication-assisted treatment should be medication-assisted recovery per guidelines. It is assisting with recovery. So as we adapt and we learn new words, it's great to hear some of that language that is being transformed to kind of take away that personal stigma, I guess, around addiction, right?
I think that's a really good point. MAT should be MAR.
I heard another alternative for it that keeps the same letters, and I can't remember what it is now too. Yeah, language in the book.
Because we aren't really treating people. We're giving them a tool for them to use as they choose to pursue their recovery. Buprenorphine and methadone are not treatments.
So part of the initiative and deflection work that Columbia, Clatsop, and Tillamook County are all a part of, Clatsop is a much bigger infrastructure that's happened. And the reason I know so much about this is because 0.5 of my FTE is allocated to supporting those counties in technical assistance, being that bridge between Dr. Dan Hoover, who's at OHSU an addiction medicine specialist. Essentially, funding came down from Oregon Health Authority to help support this initiative in a ton of counties across the state. And in my role, there's about 6 of us across the state that each have 3 counties that we're helping support an evidence-based approach to practice. And so I'm working with Columbia, Clatsop, and Tillamook. And essentially deflection is, instead of putting folks in jail, they're able to go into a treatment program. So all counties have different eligibility requirements. It's kind of up to the officer's discretion to make that choice if you're eligible or not based on what the team decides as eligible or ineligible. A lot of counties are recognizing that like a single possession charge is kind of that baseline, but really more folks have more charges than that. And this again is in response to the Measure 110 being rolled back, where folks are starting to get charged for using specific drugs. So this is kind of the effort that the state has used in order to prevent charging people and getting on their records and actually giving them a chance to go through recovery. And Clatsop's killing it. They're doing a great job. They've been a really good group of people. It's kind of aligning public safety and public health and coming together and on a bridge and meeting like where people are at and being able to communicate. And so Tillamook and Columbia are a little further behind, but still have really great initiatives going on. But it gave me a lot of hope hearing about this and knowing that this is a focus that people are an initiative that people are focusing on in community and really trying to help support people get back on their feet. There's a lot of, efforts outside of just the recovery. It's like they're helping people, that's behavioral health is helping people set up bank accounts and use debit cards and things like that. CCA is behind it. So it's really cool to see all these community partners come together and back it up. So if anyone has questions, I'm learning so much in the last few months as I started on that journey. So feel free to ping them my way. But yeah, just wanted to add to that. It's something like a positive note that I've seen.
Yeah, thanks, Kayla. I mean, it's kind of frustrating to be in this business because you don't really know if you ever are achieving any success. There's very little data available.
Well, they're actually part of this funding is supporting data being collected, and OHSU is also helping with that, seeing the differences between pre-COVID data and arrests and now, and then seeing they're keeping track of a lot of things. Let's just say that, and it will be available data in time. So I think we'll be able to see some of those numbers, and we know numbers don't tell all, so that's important to recognize. But yeah, taking up a lot of air in the room, so I digress. I'll talk if there's more questions.
That's probably enough right now.
Carolina.
want you all to remember my name when I say it. So I am Caroline with Clatsop County Public Health, and I work on health promotion. And right now, we have been working on something called the Take a Breath campaign, which is our tobacco prevention. So specifically, this one's vaping prevention. And we are currently looking out for talent. We're working with a contractor within Clatsop, Tillamook, and Columbia County to do this vaping prevention program. So if you know of or have any 13, we're looking for talent, youth between the ages of 13 to 19. So please send them my way. Kayla and Lisa have my information. So we will be launching this campaign January 13th, but we are looking at doing the filming December 2nd, 3rd, and or 5th. And this will be with the contractor. The youth won't be mic'd up, so we just need their physicalities, but we definitely would love and need their parental guardian consent, and we will do that officially through a media release. And we are currently looking at 2 different locations, one in Astoria and one in Seaside. So preferably if they want to do it the more public one, that would be the one in Seaside. So we're looking at doing the one in Astoria and one of the schools, so Astoria Middle School.
And what will they be doing?
They'll be celebrating what it looks like to be a vape-free life.
Oh, okay.
So it's a vaping prevention campaign. For those between the ages of 13 to 19. And we'll definitely give them a little thank you for just giving us their time. But even if they have questions, I could definitely support their concerns or questions that may come about here and then to the beginning of December, just to make them more comfortable if they have any questions. So please send them my way.
How are you identifying students that through the school or?
We are currently working with some schools right now to get some, but definitely they can come to us personally. That is also awesome. But there's another route what they could do, which we've been pushing out as well through the schools. But if you want that information, I'm sure Lisa can send it out when she sends out normal stuff. But there's another way where they can do a self submission of a video, which has been live up until the beginning of December as well. So you can go the film production way with us, or just do that self-submission of just submitting a 30-second video that could be like a TikTok style of just what it looks like to be a vape-free life. Be literally anything except vaping. And this is very, very important to the school.
Maybe some other boundaries.
That's the first thing that comes to mind goes.
But, sorry. And the reason why we're doing this is just to really use the youth to, you know, show alternatives. And then we're coming out when we launch that campaign with the education, medically accurate education, trauma-informed information of what vaping looks like, you know, the health outcomes. And we'll be pushing out some, you know, some branded campaign stuff and school posters. So there's more to come on that. But Carolina, Public Health.
Carolina, what is the school doing? What do the kids do? Do they smoke cigarettes? Do they vape? Do they do all these things?
Yes,
How do they choose? And do they mix and match?
yes. Yes, they do.
And what is the attraction? I mean, is it-
Maybe we can have Carolina come and give us a presentation
That's a
on
good idea.
vaping at a later date. And maybe when our campaign launches, she can come and give us a presentation and share some of the campaign.
Like-
But if you do know any students and you want more information, we'll put it in there. And for any youth ages 13 to 19, and you're welcome to encourage them to submit a video or to reach out to us if they'd like to be a part of kind of the bigger project. And then that they may be featured in the campaign video when it finally rolls out. So anyways, on to that.
That's my boss, so.
Good job. The Lower Columbia Q Center, in response to, shall we say, current events, We have three initiatives I want to highlight, and one is increased open drop-in hours for 2 days a week. 4 to 6 on Thursdays is the new drop-in hours. We also have drop-in hours noon to 4 on Thursdays. We have support groups every evening, including educators, sobriety, trans support, youth groups, adult groups, spiritual groups, et cetera, book clubs, et cetera, et cetera. We even had a softball team that came in second. But anyway, the other initiative we have is working with our friends at CCA. Partnerships are clearly important in our world, and in response to increased threats, I guess our community has redoubled our efforts to provide support. So CCA and ours. What else? If I think of all right now.
Yeah, and you can email it to us too. Could you actually email me what the open house hours are, and then I'll put that in the newsletter. And if you think of a third thing.
I did think of it.
Okay.
You were going to tell me, weren't you? But we also, this month, that we were doing every Tuesday at 5 p.m., we have developed a transgender 101 educational program, slides and actual transgender people discussing whatever people need to understand about our world. And that's less than an hour of discussion time, but 5 p.m. This month on Tuesday evenings. Thanks.
Is it just one session or several?
It's the same session every Tuesday,
Every Tuesday, starting when?
5 p.m. Transgender 101.
Would this be like something that maybe a parent would want to,
We've had parents, we've had families,
Or
we've had
a pastor
At
or
you.
other adults?
This is open to the general public. We hope people will come.
I'm also super excited about the Trans Philosophy Book Club that Ben just announced, so I'm joining it.
Yay. Thank you.
At 5 p.m.?
5 p.m. And I have to say, our community is full of wonderful support. We had a couple of therapists, Wednesday, to do grief counseling because it was necessary. It is necessary. So thanks for rallying and support. Great community. We're emerging.
Before I talk about what Judy brought up earlier, Project Homeless Connect is coming up. I think it's going to be the last Tuesday of January, and I'll be reaching out probably to everybody in the chart community with the agency commitment forms, see who all wants to participate and show up and be there, and hear more about that as we go forward. We were talking about how language is really important. I'm just gonna take a moment to take a digression and call you out. Kayla, I was gonna let you get away with it. Maybe it doesn't matter to you. But my kids always bust me for using violent language too. And you talk about how Clatsop County was killing it in this collaborative. That's what my
Thank you. I
children
appreciate
would
the call
say,
out.
no, we're nurturing it. Watch out, Dad.
I used to feed two birds with one stone all the time.
That was, I called it out when it showed up. I think it was Judy, no, it was Emily that did that. I don't know who brought it up.
We talked about, you were in the conversation, talking about it, and forever and always I use that, so this is important.
What is the other one? What is the one? Nurturing it and
Nurture.
and what was the one? you
Eating
just-
two birds with one stone.
Feeding two birds with one.
Except
stone.
a bird, I was gonna say bird specialist, the bird lover of mine was like, they don't eat scones. And I was like, oh, we're getting.
Not if we don't give them the opportunity.
Thank you, Jerome.
Get a seal on it. Believe us.
And then for our other things, as Judy mentioned, I'll let Jackie talk about it, but the Medicaid waiver, health related social needs, we are now able to let Jackie speak.
Yeah. So I'm not an expert by any means, relatively new in the coordinator position. CCA is currently offering one of the benefits that they are rolling out, which is the housing benefit. For the housing benefit, there are income limits, some eligibility requirements. I'm putting together kind of a flyer that's similar to the one that the Oregon Health Authority put out originally about the benefits. And then also has some resources for folks to be able to determine and inquire about eligibility. So I can send that to you, Kayla, and you guys can fill that out. And then, yeah, we're kind of working on some internal processes and tracking sheets and things like that. Got lots of trainings, lots of learning to do, lots of updates and guidance from OPA and Care Oregon. And so, yeah, we're kind of just rolling with it at the moment and taking what we got. We don't have any current referrals from the Unitas platform, which is the referral process is everything's going to go through Unitas. But we do have some internal referrals that I've been working on getting connected with folks in our community, just to talk about potential eligibility and how to work with them one-on-one to continue that process should they be presumed eligible for that benefit. So if anybody has any questions, you can take those, or you can.
I just want to zoom out a little bit, and Jackie has stepped into a lead position to coordinate our response to working with health-related social needs. And super high level, this is going to allow people to bill Medicaid for housing costs. There are a lot of limitations on who's eligible. It's 30% AMI or under at this point. It's very low, but it's a new thing and it's available and it's going to help some people. And you're the one to make it work for us.
Yeah, and we've got some potential for expanding the benefit within CCA as well. We're having some discussions about that. I can also do some referrals out because currently Columbia County is the only county that is for community action team is doing the home modifications or mediations portion of the benefit. And originally CCA refers to them for home modifications anyway. So I think that that's just going to be connected to them, but I can also make those referrals if anybody had come in or I've met with anyone in the community who had a need that may be presumed eligible for that benefit as well. So yeah, that's the update I got for y'all at the moment.
Thank you. Thank you. And welcome.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I did want to give credit where it needs to be. Judy, that was a Judy. That was a
Thank you.
I didn't come up with it. I may have shared it with this group, but I didn't invent it myself, I have to say.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay, yeah. How many minutes do we have left? Because I got a lot of notes. So first of all, I do serve on the hospital board of Columbia Memorial, so shout out to all of our Columbia Memorial employees who are here today. Really appreciate that you guys are engaged with us. I'm new to the process. I got engaged with this because I was in a process with Kayla and Lisa and a couple other folks. And I just want to say, first of all, I'm so impressed with the number of young people who are engaged with this kind of work. I think sometimes my generation feels like, God, we're doing all the work and none of the young people ever do anything. And I mean, you might have heard that. I hear it all the damn time. And, you know, you guys are doing great work. And I think that's extraordinary. And I did mention that at the hospital board Thursday. I was like, in this community doing the right stuff. I'm so impressed. The other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is I attended on Veterans Day a presentation by Sean Davis and Brad Kysick about the work they're doing to prevent veteran suicide. Again, not a problem I'm personally familiar with, but Oregon is one of the highest rates of veteran suicide in the nation. A lot of that is due to the fact that we are in very rural communities. And some of the reasons they cite is lack of social connection. For those of you who are veterans, you know that when you are part of the armed forces, you're very much part of a team. And when they lose that connection, when they return, and add to that they have experiences that give PTSD, gotta use the right letters here, and the fact that we are in the rural parts of Oregon, it's much more of a gun culture than many other parts of the country. And so they're reaching out and making a video, but I think one of the underlying things is that the lack of social connection and then the lack of, I think that we need more connection with veterans in general in helping them in that transition in our communities. And so I love seeing people work on that, but I think there's a lot more that some of your organizations would be touching on. The other thing that's come to my attention is, and again, this is not news to any of you, is the number of people with mental health problems in our community who don't have access to help. My company has added as a benefit for 2025, 6 mental health counseling sessions. I think that's an amazing benefit for companies to do. I don't know that the hospital does that, but love to hear from you guys. If you think that's a benefit we should work on, I'll push for it. I think all of us, especially this week, we all need counseling. I mean, every one of us really needs someone to talk to. Many of us use our friends that way, or we use our church members or our pastors, but that mental health need is so huge. And it's the root underneath a lot of the other problems that substance abuse problems, or substance use problems, my language way. And then for those of you who are feeling discouraged about the election, which more than one of us, my church has a social justice book club. It is open to the community. It meets down at the Commodore. I can get you information on that. And each month they read a book that helps educate us who come from the land of privilege about what it's like to be not from the land of privilege and what things we can do as people. Part of it is, again, to Tom's point, a lot of my generation doesn't understand why we're using, why do I have she, her on here? Like, can't you guys tell just by looking at me? There's a lot of questioning of some of the, and I think this was a big part of the election too, that questioning of being woke. And so really having some conscious study of why being woke is important. Anyway, that's available to the entire community. And then my last thing before I talk on and on, Norma, I'd like to adopt 2 kids. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my grandchildren adopt them.
Oh,
And so they can't be from Napa. That's my only rule. I don't want my children to be able to identify.
oh, yeah. Don't worry, I can take
And
care
I
of that.
invite the rest of you to do that. Take those kids shopping and help them understand why there's a need.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for Jay. Jay already sent me an email. Thank you, Jay.
I will give a little bit more update about the perinatal task force. Just for anybody that is new to this conversation, Jess Salacio came up with the idea earlier in the beginning of the year, and we had 3 community conversations in the spring. And I'm still, we'll still get to compiling those notes. In the meantime, we've been having conversations with a lot of folks who are involved with perinatal health and getting recommendations, suggestions about how it could be structured, where it could live, different potential funding streams. Just really looking at slowing down the process of creating it so that it could be created in a sustainable and intentional way. And I'll add that each of the topics that has been discussed today intersects with perinatal health. So it's not actually like its own separate issue, it intersects with everything. But for instance, tobacco and substance use, people when they're pregnant are much more interested in addressing their use of substances at that point in their lives than maybe any other time. So when we talk about strategy or housing, the importance of housing for pregnant and postpartum families. Anyway, also for the perinatal task force, knowing that there's statewide initiatives that are about perinatal health that our county often doesn't know about because we don't have a direct line to those organizations, like the Oregon Perinatal Collaborative is a state organization, the Oregon Doula Association is another state organization. So I'm just really seeing, like, from a systems level, the need for having more communication, collaboration around perinatal health. And it needs to be something that's valued by community partners and invested in, because perinatal health is usually addressed by low paid or volunteer people. So that's my little plug for the perinatal task force, and I hope to have more updates on it soon.
Okay.
I'm Sarah again. I don't have much updates from 211, but I am hosting a service provider roundtable tomorrow from 1 to 4 at the Bob Chisholm Community Center. Lunch is provided. I sent out invitations. I know I probably couldn't get to everyone, but I do have information here. It's kind of last minute, obviously now, but if you're interested, let me know. And then we're entering all our holiday programming into our database. So if you know of any holiday programming, we just have 1 active or 2 active right now in Clatsop County. So looking for more opportunities to add to the database. So
You want to put her email in the chat too, just since I probably won't get the newsletter out before tomorrow. So I want to make sure people know that.
I just wanted to ask for holiday programming. Can you give a little bit more? Like,
yeah, so
what kind of
Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday programming can be like a Thanksgiving basket, like right now, I think we have like even the chamber in our database, and it just has like the parade of lights, like the free activities you can go to. So basically anything that's free, or if you need people for donations or volunteers for an activity, people kind of look for that in the community during this time. So even if it's something they can't access, maybe like it's full, but you need volunteers or donations, we can put them in the 211 database, and people call for volunteer opportunities, they'll find those. So, yeah.
I will be there tomorrow.
Awesome.
This is my first meeting here. Like I said, I'm from Northwest Senior Disability Services, kind of known as the Medicaid Food Stamps Office. But the community program supervisor, my position, I kind of handle the other part, which is the Older Americans Act. We're deep into open enrollment for the Medicare plan. You probably see those commercials on every 5 minutes. And so we're able to help people with choice counseling and that kind of thing for their Medicare Part D and Medigap plans. We have community programs. We have counseling for family caregivers, where we have support groups and that kind of thing. So there's a lot going on through our office that a lot of people just don't really know about. So you can go check out our website and let us know how we can help.
I did want to just make a note. Joelle asks, Sarah, do you have the free Thanksgiving dinner at the Bob Chisholm building already included in the holiday?
I have a note to follow up with that tomorrow because I'll be there. But I saw that it was inactive, and so our resource team does go through like the little list we have in each of my counties, and then they check and see. So if they haven't got a response or if they failed to contact you, I'm sorry, but yeah, so it's in there. We've seen to activate it, so I can follow up with that.
Thank you. Thanks, Joelle.
Who was it? Joelle.
Joelle. Archibald. I already gave I gave enough deal. I took up enough there.
So I know we're already over time, so I'll just say that we are doing all the time Narcan trainings, and we can help you get connected with the clearinghouse if you're eligible for that. So if you're interested in getting Narcan training for your staff or for a group of people, then we can definitely do that. And then we also are going to we did a health equity assessment in 2021. We are to the stage where we're going to start writing that health equity plan sometime soon, to be complete by June of next year. And so when we get to the stage where we can have some community feedback on that plan, because we got community feedback during the assessment stage. So once we have the plan written, we'll want feedback again from community once we have a draft. So look out for that in the future. And we did invite Unite Us to come and present to us. So I'm hoping that in the new year, they can come and also talk about because they do more than just like referrals for one program. It's referrals for like any service and all of the community. And so I think it would be really useful for this group to kind of make connections if we understood what the scope of what they can offer is.
One thought on Unite Us, it would be interesting to have somebody from one of the other counties in which it's really up and running present about their experience and the positive impact it's had. I've been on a couple of the Unite Us presentations and I'm bought in, but at the same time, like, it just would be helpful to hear, I think for our, our community, like, what
Great.
what we maybe we're missing out on.
I will say, I was curious, the Clatsop Deflection Group is also potentially interested in using Unitas, but they wanted to know about the organizations who have used it, like how beneficial is it? Is it duplicating efforts of like records and things like that? And so, I don't know, I don't want to ask, but if CCA has any good experience or bad experience or experience across the board using Unitas or any other folks in the room who work for an organization that uses it, it might be interesting to like almost have like our folks in the room. I know Tillamook has, but they're like, we don't know if we're doing it right. So I think, yeah, I think it's like a little bit of a learning process and it's still being understood how to use it best in communities. So I don't, just an idea for future, it could be maybe like after Unitas presents, it could be interesting to hear like some experiences.
Do you want us to talk on it just really briefly right now, or is this all for the future?
I think we should do it in the future just because we're over time and I want, yeah, and that way you can like, you know, you don't have to just do it off the cuff. You can-
Sounds like
You're ready. Yeah, that's great. But yeah, we're,
We'll save it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, Jerome.
we're 10 minutes over, but I will just say we're not going to have a December meeting because that seems to always be kind of a crunch month for everybody. And then we're planning on having the retreat in January this year. So the January meeting will be longer. That would be on January 8th. And well, I do have another kind of off the cuff question, but right now, the visitor center opens at 9 and that's what time the meeting starts. And so it's always a little bit tough. Like the meeting's always a little bit behind because people are trying to come in and get settled and we're banging on the door for them to let us in early to set up. So what do people think about, and maybe I can send out a survey with this evening because not everybody's always in the room, but of starting at 9:30 and going to 11. So that
Even under 9:16, because we seem to be going over with more and more.
yeah, 9:15 or 9. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that feedback. Yeah, so we will see you guys in January.
I have one more thing. So I'm part of a group called 100 Women of Clatsop County. We do grants that exceed $10,000 once a quarter. First of all, it's 100 Women Clatsop. I invite you to visit our website. I invite you to become a member. You don't have to be female. That's just how we started. It's a great networking event. And if you have an organization you'd like to see nominated for that grant, you can call me directly, email me. Norma's a member also, we can nominate people. It's really a nice way for some of our smaller organizations that are trying to kick off a project to get the seed money that makes it possible for them. They do have to have a 501c. That's because everyone wants it to be tax deductible.
Awesome. Well, if you could send me all the things that you mentioned, Constance, if you have any like links or anything, then I will include all of that in our newsletter too. So that people who didn't, there's like 200 people plus who are on the newsletter list that don't always make it to every meeting. So I'm
going directly from here to there.
So perfect. Well, if anyone wants to stick around, we're going to take like a 10-minute break and then we're going to do the steering committee to talk about the retreat and maybe place matters a little bit. So you're welcome to stick around. If not, it's nice seeing you and we will see you in January.
So.
Oh, jeez.
That's when
Yes, I was. No, I didn't. That's all. It was a different room. I'm pretty sure that anyone has
She's. He knows this, but very. He loves like stuff, sounds like his parents. So I know this feeling.
But yeah, so.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just, yeah, instead of us just having one person paper and I will see other. Overnight, this is gonna be there, the much better. Yeah, therefore, I'm gonna. Okay, so I don't be trained to do it now, so. I know a little bit more about it. I don't really like that kind of experience yet, actually.
Very fast. Then at the beginning of this week, I was
So I will send you some mail. And then, also, I think,